Welcome back to another mini podcast. I know that I said that I was going to do a real podcast. I am. But for now, we're going to do these once a week until then. So, yesterday was Jay's birthday party. It's like the first party where it was like all about the kids. He had school friends there, our friends' kids were there, and like it was just like so much fun. It was like the best party we've ever had. I came such a long way because at Jay's first birthday party, he was the only child at that party. And over the years, slowly as we met more other parents, more kids have came. It just like made so much sense this time. Kids had so much fun. We had like a little glow party in the basement, and that was like a last minute thing. We just blocked out the room, got a bunch of glow sticks, put music on. And I'm so glad we did that because it was like a huge hit. It's actually a really good idea to do if you're having a birthday party in your house and like you don't have a lot of space and you don't really know what activities to do. Just empty out a room, make it dark, put glow sticks. It's so cheap. They love it. They went crazy. He had school friends there, and I was kind of wondering if the parents would just like drop them off and then leave. But neither, it was only two school friends, and neither one of the parents did that, which I'm happy about. But like, I feel like I know for a fact when I was in kindergarten, every single kid got dropped off by their parent, and no one stayed. And we were all five. And I feel like that would never happen now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know when the right age to do that. I don't know. I feel like really weird about that, but I shouldn't. I feel like I shouldn't. Like I don't want to. I want to just like who doesn't want it? Who doesn't want to just drop their kid off and have free childcare and like go shopping? Like I feel like that is kind of taboo to say because there's like a really specific group of parents that like pride themselves on like never ever ever leaving their kid. It feels like they think they're morally superior because they never leave their kid. And it's like good for you, but like that's not me. Like I'm leaving my kid with people I trust. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel like that makes me a bad mom, but it just feels like I'm living in a time where it's almost like shame to feel like you leave your kid. And it's coming from a belief that modern parents tend to believe, and that is the more time you spend with your kids, the better parent you are. And this is coming from someone who spends all her time with her kids, right? And when I tell people I'm a stay-at-home mom, I can just see the light go off in their head, like, "Oh, you're such a good mom." Like people have said that, "Oh, you spend all your time with them. You're such a good mom." And it's like, I that doesn't make me a good mom. Like I could be like literally screaming at them all day. I could be neglecting them. I could be making freaking TikToks, watching TV all day. That doesn't mean that like I'm a good mom because I'm always with them, right? What about all the moms that are like out there working like three jobs? It feels like it's implying that they're not as good of a mom as like a stay-at-home mom. I just feel like it's energy that matters. It's the energy you put into your kids. We need to let it go. We need to let it go. And like that's why I don't feel guilty when I leave them. They need other people need them. They have relationships with my family, with Sean's family. Like they love their family. I feel like it makes them well-rounded people when they're around people that do things differently than me. If they're always with me, I feel like they would see one way of doing everything. So I like that part about them having relationships with other people. It gives them new perspectives on like, literally day-to-day things like making food, the way that people talk, people's mannerisms. They're very well rounded because they're around a lot of people. But yeah, no, I don't let them alone with just anyone, of course. I They have sleepovers with their grandparents and that's it. I saw a comment on my video the other day. It was the video of Rose feeding our cat, and one of the top comments was, "I really like how you let her figure it out herself and she didn't even ask you for help." And that is something I want to emphasize because it's something that took me a little too long to understand. Because when Jay was a baby, I did everything for him. Like I was spoon feeding him until he was 3. Because why not? He was my only child. I didn't want him to have any frustration. I wanted everything to be done for him perfectly. And it's just so much quicker and less messy if I do it right. But honestly, it wasn't until the past couple years that I understood the importance of letting them figure things out all by themselves. It really makes a child competent. And competence is a huge deal. I mean, from what I hear, teachers, doctors, they say that kids are not as competent as they used to be. If you want to increase the competence of your kids, don't do everything for them. In fact, do less for them. And the way I see it is me not helping them is actually me helping them the best way possible. And this is an analogy I came up with. Just say you're in the gym, you're lifting weights, right? And every time you start to shake a little bit or you start to strain or it gets uncomfortable, you put the weight down. Your muscles are not going to grow. And that's the same deal with your brain. If the brain is never challenged, how can it grow? So That's the way I see it. So I'm actually helping them more by not doing it for them. And I've been doing this a lot with Rose, and she hardly ever asks me for help because she enjoys figuring it out on her own. And I can see the light bulb go off, and she is extremely competent. Her problem solving skills are really good for like a 20-month-old. With Jay, he's been getting much better at being competent because I think I messed up the first like 4 years. I messed up. And it's easy for a 20-month-old to just figure things out because they kind of enjoy it. It's like fun for them. But when they're 6, like Jay, and he's like asking for help and getting frustrated, obviously I don't just want to say no. So sometimes I'll just take a little bit longer to get to him on purpose, or I'll say I believe in you, I think you can figure it out, or I'll just say I will help you help yourself. Because that's another thing is I remember someone said this analogy. I don't know if I read it or something, but if your car breaks down in the middle of the road and you want help, you're more likely to get help if you get out and push your car versus if you get out and start waving people down. Because people like it when you help yourself. So that's something I always say to Jay. I'll help you help yourself. Because no one told me that. Okay. And I was a helpless, and I still kind of am. I'm still helpless. Okay. I'm still learning. I feel like Sean does everything for me, and like I never learned how to like figure anything out, but I'm trying. The thing I want to talk about is playground etiquette. Worldwide question that I feel like every parent will come across at one point. And no one really talks about it, and no one knows what the right answer is. And that is, do you let your kid go up the slide? Because I have been to many playgrounds, and I at least once every visit I hear parents say, don't go up the slide, you go up the ladder and down the slide. And then there's other parents that let their kid go up the slide. They look at them while they do it, and then there's other parents that just aren't even paying attention. And it's just such an interesting thing because there's like, I mean, I personally have never seen a sign that says don't go up the slide. I feel like a lot of playground rules are up for interpretation, and a lot of parents just interpret slides. You go down them, you don't go up them. And I've just noticed that there's two different types of parents. There's parents that let them, and there's parents that don't let them. And I would like to personally announce that I let my kids go up the slide, okay? And that's not in a neglectful, not paying attention way. I feel like, now this is my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, and if you disagree, I would love to hear why you don't let your kid go up the slide. But for me, I feel like the second I say you go down the slide and up the ladder, I'm putting their little brain in a box. And that is like the last thing I'm trying to do. Because they look at the playground so much differently than us adults. Like I want them to just like think of other ways to use things other than its intended purpose. That's something I really like when Jay and Rose do. So I don't want to put them in this box like slides are meant for going down. Now, obviously, it gets a little tricky because sometimes there are kids trying to go down the slide and your kid can't be going up the slide. That is where I feel like the once in a while rule can come in. And this is something that I absolutely can't stand. I'm such an all or nothing person. I'm never in between ever. I'm never sometimes. It's something I don't even know if I like about myself, but this is like the one time that I let Jay and Rose do things sometimes. I always say, if there's someone trying to go down the slide, you cannot go up. And it's never been a problem. Like they understand if someone's up there, you can't be going up. Even Rose understands. She's 20 months old. That's all for today. Let me know if you let your kid go down the slide, and let me know why or why not, because I just love to hear the reasons. It's so many times where I have to like stop myself from asking parents like, why are you letting go up the slide? Like I just want to know why. I'm not judging. I just want to know why. It's fascinating.